Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Jodo Cast, your Star Wars gaming podcast. This is episode 97. My name is Evan Lewis. I am, of course, joined by Leo Andry.
Why, you always say, of course, but, I'm not always here, so,
Well, that's true, you're not, but, we certainly expect you to be here, and when we're not, we hold you accountable. At least the people who are the Patreons, the patrons of Patreon, they hold you accountable, because they are the ultimate authority in the universe. Just like Darth Vader. They're the ones that tell us, what to do in the best interest of the people. I don't know if that's true or not, but we're going to say it is. I like to think that they have that power, because power to the people, and the people are the Patreon, and we thank them so much for everything they do for us. So if you want information about how to become so powerful in all things Star Wars gaming, you can go to patreon.com/thejodocast or jodocast.com and follow the link from there. And while you're there, you can go to their Discord and you can join us and be like, hey, that was a really awkward intro on episode 97. You really need to streamline this, come out with some sort of standard. But until we do, this is what you're stuck with. So it's on you to join the cause. It's not about me, it's about us. And you need to...
at this point, awkward intros are really, this is just on brand for us. If we were to ever streamline it, I think we'd just confuse our listeners.
It's true. It's like when, a startup becomes corporate. Like Whole Foods.
Yeah. Or, it'd be like we get like a pre-canned intro and it would be like the new Coke of Jodo Cast.
Ooh. Now, see, I didn't mind new Coke.
You know what? I don't even...
But it was basically Pepsi.
I don't even remember new Coke. I remember...
Well, you were probably like 8.
Yeah. See, we basically never had pop when I was a kid.
Good.
the only time I ever had pop is sometimes when we would go out to a restaurant or something, we never had pop at home at our house. So
that's good. That's a good thing. I applaud your parents for that. You just drank single malt Scotch whiskey, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what we use.
That's what I thought.
You have a toothache when you're a kid, like when you're teething, and just rub some whiskey on your gums. That's what Mom would do.
Mm-hmm.
You fall down, playing on the farm, scrape your knees. Dad, Mom would pour some whiskey on the wound to clean it and numb it a little. It's really, a universal liquid.
It's like in a Big Fat Greek Wedding where they use the Windex, on the injury. But if they'd been Scottish or Irish, they would have used whiskey on it. You wake up in the morning, I've got a big, zit on my face. You just rub some whiskey on it. Done. I honestly don't see the flaw in this logic.
Nothing else that'll make you smell nice.
I think so. A nice
peaty smell.
Musky, peaty, yeah. Some of the extra peaty stuff. Lafreg. That's what you want to smell like. You want to smell like wet bark.
Yeah.
For the whole rest of the day. So anyways, this message brought to you by listeners like you.
So there we go. This is our most on-brand intro to date.
It really is. Without Joe to be like, so Star Wars games. Speaking of, Joe, we wish him well. He is...
Mostly we wish his computer well.
Yeah.
Actually, we should probably play taps for his computer right now. However,
I just had to kill the trumpet.
The next time we record, he should have a new computer and will actually be able to join us.
I thought you were going to say he'd have a trumpet. No trumpet? He's investing in a computer instead? Great. Good idea. I support this. So we wish Joe well in his quest to get a better computer, and hopefully that leads to not just being able to join us for shows, but maybe he can do a bit more of the old streaming and recording of things and, get some more content, because literally these days everything is content. And speaking of content, I'm not sure how that works, but let's talk about what we've been playing. So I'm going to go first, because it ain't been a whole lot. And
Shade.
that's with an... I know, but that's with an asterisk, because I've been playing... Let's see what I've been playing. Mario Kart 7, Smash Bros. DS, Link Between Worlds, and Mario World 3D, or Mario Land 3D.
Oh, that reminds me. I was going to download Tetris 99 on my
Yeah,
Switch.
download Tetris 99 on your Switch. The moral of the story is I just bought a 3DS, so I'm finally rejoining Nintendo.
I see.
Or a 2DS XL.
Yeah, we've got 2 of those floating around our house. We had to buy a second one. Our oldest son had one, but then our youngest just sort of co-opted it as his own. So we bought our oldest a new one for Christmas here. So.
Oh, good. And did they each get the opposite version of Pokemon?
No. The only actual Pokemon game we have is Pokemon X that came with the first DS that we have.
Oh.
Liam likes Pokemon a lot. Like, he really likes Pokemon, but he never
that's what I thought.
He's never really gotten into playing the actual games a lot.
Huh.
Although he does want us to buy
Let's Go
Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah, he wants Eevee, doesn't he?
Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, no, but he's been playing a lot. He's been playing a lot of Zelda lately because he's got Link Between Worlds and Ocarina of Time for his DS.
Ah, very nice. Yeah, when I got my 2DS, I was like, I have to get Link Between Worlds. I loved Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. I like the like flattening out yourself mechanic is cool. But as Joe would say, maybe we should talk about some Star Wars games.
Oh yeah, so I also been playing Call of Cthulhu and Kill Team.
Okay, Star Wars games.
Well, you know what? I will say this. Anytime you play an RPG, it gives you
in the stars,
and there's wars.
Yeah, and there's
literally
Joe.
Unending wars. Hey, we have a Joe. Is a Joe incoming?
But he appears to be muted.
Oh, well, stop that.
Okay. Well, anyways, so let's see.
Yeah.
What have I been playing?
Yeah, what have you been playing?
I've been playing actual Star Wars games. I mean, I've been playing some Zelda and stuff too. Like, I bought the Breath of the Wild DLC, so I've been playing that. And,
now, see, all I want to do is ask you about that.
I started. Breath of the Wild's fantastic. You should definitely buy a Switch and buy that game.
Because there's a rumor that there's going to be a slightly upgraded version of the Switch coming out second half of the year. So
I'll maybe buy one of those.
Maybe,
I don't know. I gotta buy a replacement. I gotta buy a PS4 though because I need a new Blu-ray player because my PS3 died.
Oh! Do we hear the telltale sounds of a Joe?
Switch right away, but. Let's see, what was I talking about? Star Wars, actual Star Wars games, right? Yeah, okay. I've been playing Legion, a bunch of Legion. In our local league, we are playing through the Blue Metal operation right now. And that's been fun so far, although I was on the team that lost round 1, so here in round 2, we had to attack into like sort of a fortified position, and that was a really tough mission if you're on the losing side there. I only managed to to win because with my very last attack, I managed to wipe off the other guy's last mini he had on the board. Otherwise, if I would have missed with that attack, he would have won on victory points.
Yeah, I saw you talking about that in Discord. That's pretty impressive. I mean, I don't know the full details on how difficult or easy it was to get those victory points, but the fact that you were able to just wipe him is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was kind of came down to a little bit of his army composition too. Like I think if he would have not spent quite so much on upgrades and just had a couple more units on the board, I don't think I could have pulled it off.
And what were you running?
I was just running. I had pretty much just like a core swarm. I had a couple of snow troopers, 4 squads, stormtroopers with some DLTs, a couple snipers in there. And I stuck a squad of bikes in to fill out some points. I was running Veers, so I could have him handing out aims. And it worked pretty well, but I think like I said, I got lucky because I played the first couple rounds a little wrong. Because originally when I built my army, I was thinking, okay, I'll have all these DLTs and I'll have my snipers and I'll kind of like advance slowly and just kind of pick off his guys. But the way the scenario is unless you advance really quickly, you like bum rush into the defender's deployment zone, you're never gonna the attacker is never gonna win on victory points ever. So but like I said, I luckily I pulled off wiping him off the board, so it was a fun game. It's been a fun operation so far. We've still got 2 more rounds of that to go through, so and been playing some X-Wing League still, just flying around ships that I haven't really flown, which is surprisingly a lot of them. Which reminds me, I still need to buy a assault gunboat. I never did buy one of those back in 1.0.
Huh. I mean, wherever you go, you should be able to find them on quite the sale.
It depends. I mean, like one of our stores in town clearanced out all their 1.0 stuff. And so I did pick up a few things from him, but like our other store just never did, because I mean, technically the models are still good. So
yeah,
he's just been still selling them at regular price.
Yeah, I've got one store that has more Rune Wars than they'll ever be able to sell, and those have not gone on sale yet. And then I have one store that has put their X-Wing First Edition on quite a big discount. And it's just like, this is opposite world. Come on. Like, X-Wing stuff is still viable. Rune Wars is completely done. Put that on sale, please. Thank you. And I keep almost grabbing some X-Wing stuff, but then I'm like, am I actually going to play it? A, and B, am I going to enjoy it? Or should I just buy more Legion? And then the answer becomes very clear very quickly.
Yeah. I think there is some stuff you would like in Legion, not in Legion, in X-Wing. There's some ships like the TIE Striker is surprisingly fun to fly around. Like I don't think it's necessarily like the greatest ship out there, but just with its adaptive ailerons, you can do some really funny maneuvers and stuff like that with it. And I don't know, I find it an enjoyable ship to just pilot around on the board when you're playing.
Yeah, I've been meaning to bust out the ones that I have already, the first edition ones, and just try to integrate some of those cleaner rules. Because like I'd asked several shows several shows past about rules from second that I could implement into first. So, I've got them. I'm not going to get rid of them, that's for sure.
So now that you're here, Joe, tell us, what have you been playing?
We finished up our Legion League. I took second place in the league. It was 5-1. So I just paid for
nice.
The Pathfinders when they come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, and I ran the same thing 3 weeks in a row for Legion, which is not usually something I do, but it was doing really well. So I'm like, I'm just going to stick with this and I'll mix it up for the next league, because next league we're doing custom commanders. The shout out to Chris. I think he'll be listening to this when it hits YouTube. He's been running the leagues for Legion. They've been really great. And he's took, I think some Legion blog did assign like point costs to most of the like commander abilities, like take cover or arsenal, things like that. So essentially you pick officer, force user, or hired gun, and then each one of those has basically trees that you pick your abilities, and it says how many points your guy costs. So it's like, I'm going to pick an officer. He's going to have a white defense die. I'm going to upgrade that to a red defense die. Now it costs this much. I'm going to give him surge to defend now. That costs this much. I'm going to give him this, these abilities. So the idea is, I think the first week is going to be like training. Like the Rebels are training, so it's going to be like a 400-point game of Rebels versus Rebels and Empire versus Empire, where they're like at their little training camp. I think he's going to have these little training grounds set up on the mats with like a bunch of like figures from other games, like watching the training ground. And then as you week to week, you get to add more to your commander. So he gets more powerful as the league goes on over 8 weeks. And I think each week he has a custom, usually asymmetrical scenario cooked up and like some kind of narrative, which I'm looking forward to. It sounds like a lot of fun. And there's not going to be a lot of like pressure to try hard, I think, because he said he's going to do what he's been doing in our X-Wing League, which is also what I've been playing, but it's not as interesting. Just been playing X-Wing. It's fun. Essentially, you get like a ticket for showing up, and then you get a ticket when you win. And then at the end of the league, there's like one prize for each player, and he pulls out a ticket. If he gets your name, you get to go pick a thing. So it's pretty much random. The more wins you have, the more likely your name will get picked first when there's still good stuff, but it's just kind of random, so it's not a huge incentive to try super hard, which is nice. Especially since it's probably going to get pretty wacky with all these custom commanders. I think that... Oh yeah, I also played Imperial Assault. I went to Denver, and I played in a regional.
And you won, right?
It was really fun. There will be a video report coming to YouTube eventually. Hopefully not too long. It's kind of out of my hands right now. I have been technologically disabled for a while, and Kurt has been editing the videos, if you are watching and didn't know. That's why the production quality went up, because he does a great job. So he's editing this video. But yeah, Imperial Assault Regionals was a lot of fun. Yeah, I did make top 4. Got me some dice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, we've mentioned before we should have like a what we've been playing, like bumper,
Yes,
like some like bumper music or something as a joke. But I just think it should just be Joe doing the the celebration episode 1 like celebration parade music.
Okay, Evan.
It should be the
here's some new audio for you, so you don't have to go back.
All right, everyone shush. Everyone shush. Except for Joe.
You can cut this in for this, so people are gonna think it's kind of weird until they get to this part of the episode.
I couldn't tell if you were done or not because you keep dropping out of the audio.
I can't take it any farther than like the really staccato bits, because then it starts to turn into like Jackson 5 stuff.
I'm sorry, that was completely unnecessary.
No, you handled what I could not.
There you go. We're duet. We're going to go on tour. We'll be the twin engines of destruction, and Leo can be our manager.
Take a 60% cut.
What? That's fair. I was thinking we should make t-shirts out of twin engines of destruction. Make it like a rock band. Like a rock band tour. All right. Since I can't tell if you're saying anything or not, we're going to move on to the topic du jour. And that's going to be looking at some of the newly previewed games over at Fantasy Flight Games. Some that we knew about, but have gotten new previews for. And some that came completely out of nowhere and took us by surprise. And we're going to start with that big surprise first of all. And that is
we would have liked to preview, some of the like upcoming games from EA, but EA doesn't do Star Wars games, so
you know what? Speaking of EA games, I kind of snoozed on the Triple Force Friday news, because there's always Force Friday when they release the toys for the new movie. This year it's like a triple feature with new toys for The Mandalorian Episode 9 and Jedi Fallen Order. Like, there's going to be a toy line for the new game that we just know the title of, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
And anyways,
I guess that at least gives us hope that one won't get canceled by EA.
The toys will come out, but the game will get canceled.
That sounds about right. So yeah, not a lot to say on the video game front. I don't think we even have a new mobile game to talk about. Used to be we get a new mobile game every few months or so, and they can't even do that anymore. Way to go, EA.
Technically, that's not even
EA is the only one who's been able to handle the mobile world of Star Wars games with Galaxy Heroes. That's the only one that hasn't started dying off.
It's true.
Okay, Fantasy Flight Games, so
yeah, the stuff that matters.
Meat space games. We got a surprise announcement here a few days ago. I guess by this point it's been a couple weeks, but they announced a totally brand new board game called Outer Rim, which is going to be a game for 1 to 4 players. Looks like each player is going to be taking on the role of a different sort of smuggler, criminal sort of type character. You can be like Han or Afra or...
I think you can be Boba Fett and Lando. And probably, I think they confirmed Bosk and IG-88 as well in the dark. Somewhere.
Well, I don't know. Some of them seemed like they weren't necessarily going to be. I thought they made it sound like IG-88 was going to be like a crew.
Oh yeah, because I know Hondo is somebody you can like recruit to your crew. So there's people you can like. That's you, and then there's people you can like hire in your career.
Yeah. And you win the game by, I guess, the object of the game is to become famous.
Infamous.
I don't know. That sort of seems like a weird goal, but whatever, I guess.
Infamous.
But yeah, you get fame by completing the character goals. Each different character has their own goals and abilities, and then you can get jobs to like deliver cargo or smuggle shit.
I think there's like bounties you can take out hits on people and stuff.
Yeah, you can fight patrols as you're going around the galaxy. You'll run into patrols from various different factions, which I'm guessing may or may not fight you depending on what your reputation with those different factions is, because that's like another thing. It looks like where you can have your reputation with those different factions go up and down.
Yeah, I think there's like there's Empire, Rebels, Hutts, and Syndicate, and then certain characters, like I think Han automatically starts with like lowest rep with the Hutts, and things like that. So your rep with those different factions changes throughout the game, and I think that'll affect how they interact with you. If you come across an Imperial patrol and you have bad reputation with the Empire, that's probably they're gonna fight you. Looks like a big thing for this game is the shipboard. Like, you get a ship and you're upgrading it, and eventually maybe you can make it into like a named ship. Like, you get a YT 1300, and if you upgrade it enough, it becomes the Millennium Falcon. Right? It looks like there's a lot of different ship choices you can have, which is kind of cool.
I like that you get that it uses the same dice as you have an X-wing. It's too bad they're really ugly looking.
They look metallic gold,
like his dice, right?
Yeah, that's probably the idea. I'm trying to decide if it seems really brilliant or really lazy. Like, I want to know if, I'm very curious where in the design process that decision was made. If they were like, someone was like, you know what, to save money, let's use these dice because then we don't have to like commission new molds and stuff. Or if they were like,
I'm sure that was part of it, and I'm sure there was also someone who was all like, oh, if we have like these custom colored X-wing dice, there's totally going to be some X-wing players who are going to buy this without even really caring about the game, just because they want the shiny dice to play X-wing.
Good point.
See, I want to know if that like shoehorned the design. If they're like, well, we have to incorporate this dice, and then the game starts to be designed around the dice instead of the dice meeting the game's needs. Which is weird. But I don't know, it's fine. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. I'm still excited to give the game a try. It should be cool.
I'm really excited about this game.
Yeah, the board, I'm still not sold on the board. The board's weird looking.
It's just like a semicircle of planets.
Yeah. I get what they're going for. Like, they sort of like literally made it be like the outer rim of the galaxy.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I was just like, oh, they're just trying to make a catchy looking board. But like, I would assume or hope there's different kind of hyperspace rules where you don't have to like follow them in a sequence. Otherwise, whatever planet's on the far left, you got to go through all the ones in the middle to get to the one on the far right. I'm sure there'll be a way to skip planets, but at first glance, that's kind of what it looks like. Oh, you just have to go planet to planet because they're all.
I would imagine that each ship would have a speed, and the speed would correlate to how many other planets you could bypass.
Yeah, the ships do have speeds.
Accurate or not?
The ships have different stats, which I think can be modified as you.
Yeah, they've got like speed and attack and what looks like it must be like hit points or something like that.
Like, I want to be Dr. Aphra and fly in a Lancer-class pursuit craft and hire Hondo Onaka and fly around and have a fun time. That I'm just really excited about just that. like, just the characters and the ships are enough to get me really excited about this game.
Well, I hope it's mechanically interesting, because if it's, leaning super heavy into the theme, that's great. They should, because that's a ripe area for good gaming. So that we honestly haven't seen. Like, I'm not super stoked about this. If it does turn out to be somewhat of a not worker placement game, but because I'm thinking of it a little bit like Lords of Waterdeep, kind of.
I don't think it. Honestly, from what I was reading from the gameplay, it doesn't really seem anything like that at all.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah.
What would you compare it to? And if you're saying it right now, I just can't hear you.
No, I'm trying to think of what I could compare it to from what I read,
about
but it just
Zia Legends of Adrift system. I think that's a game where or maybe one of the Firefly board games, where it's basically pick things up, move them, don't die along the way, drop things off.
Okay.
Except this time, instead of like a big expansive board, it's like a little semicircle. And I would imagine, as you go, you're going to be like encountering random events.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, the rebellion is passing through here. Do they hate you? You better hope not.
Yeah. I mean, again, it sounds good on paper, and I just hope that it is fun. I am most happy that it's not just another board game that's doing the Galactic Civil War again, because we've had enough of that. Every single game they've released has been about the Galactic Civil War.
I gotta say, Evan, I'm surprised I haven't heard you. Well, maybe you said something and just cut off, but I'm surprised I haven't heard you say anything about the Lando and Han art.
I am biting my tongue because I griped about that in Discord, and everyone was like, "No, it looks fine." I'm like, "Fine."
No, you just because you have. You can't hide your controversial opinions. That's what you're on a podcast for.
Yeah.
That's Leo's job.
Yeah, see, I was gonna say, you can't let other people get you down, Evan. I complain about things, and people are like, "You just complain all the time, Leo. Shut up." But you know what? I don't let it stop me. I keep complaining.
But see, I usually try to give compelling evidence for my opinions.
Look,
sometimes your feelings are enough.
In itself is all the evidence I need. I don't need any outside validation. I just know that I am inherently right. And you should too.
Yeah, if the whole world was like that, think of what a great place it would be.
Oh,
if everybody
my goodness. Oh, why can't Twitter be more like that, damn it? But yes, I am not a fan of the Harrison head on young Solo body and Billy D head on young Lando body.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, it looks weird for me. Like, when I look at it, it gives me like weird, like, cognitive dissonance.
The art itself is fine. Like, they are good pieces. Yeah. The art, like the job they did, is actually good. I just want to know who in a meeting was like, "Hey, we're gonna have Han and Lando in here." Okay, let's take a step back. Let's take Harrison head and Alden Ehrenreich body. So is it Harrison Oldenreich now? Is that what this is? That's, I mean, like, who thought of that? Who was the person that was like, "I got an idea"?
Maybe someone started on the art. They're painting based on Solo because that's like, oh, let's include this. This is cool new stuff. And then the art director was like, everybody buying this game is going to be an old person who hated that movie. You put these other heads on there, otherwise they won't buy it. And they're like, but I already drew this much. I'm like, well, just
They started with the body. Yes, they went from the bottom up, not up down. Like all.
Or it was a
great
compromise.
do.
Someone was like, "We got to put in these ones." And the guy's like, "I want to put in these ones. How about they can have those clothes."
You got Harrison in my Aldenreich. You got your Aldenreich in my Harrison.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of like when they mention things that happened in the prequels in the sequel era. Like it's that kind of connectivity where you go, "Oh, it's all one big thing and it's all connected." It feels like that to me. It does look a little weird, but it kind of just makes you feel like, okay, they're the same person.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
I'm like,
I'm with you.
I'm like, I could take it or leave it. I think I would have rather they had
Go all in on one.
the solo, go all in on one or the other. But I guess it doesn't bother me that much.
I think it would have been nice if they had done the whole art style for the game, rather than Fantasy Flight's trademark wonderful Star Wars art, for the most part. Looking at you, Destiny Ezra.
All
Even the
Ezras.
new Ezra, they did a new Ezra got spoiled today, and he looks.
Oh wait,
like
I can think of one good Ezra. And you know where it is?
The Imperial Assault one is good, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, the Imperial
does it
Assault
use
one
the
looks
same,
fine. No,
use the same art as the very last pack of LCG?
No, it does not. The LCG and both Destiny Ezras are Season 1, like Street Rat Ezra. The Imperial Assault one is short hair Ezra. It looks good. In any case, my joke I was leading up to got totally derailed. I was going to say they should have based the whole game in the holiday special art style of the cartoon, because that is the best version of Han Solo's face. Steven Tyler looking Han Solo.
And you'd get your favorite colored Boba,
There you
right?
go.
Too.
Yeah, the one that wrangles dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much Outer Rim. Next we could talk about, I think, the most recent, or of the recent announcements, the thing that got me the most excited, because Legion's my game at the moment, and plus these are really cool, but they announced a Sabine operative and a Bosk operative for Legion, and they both look really cool.
Yeah, they are.
The sculpt for both of them looks super cool. Both of their sculpts come with.
Plus, they have alternate.
Yeah, they have
poses and stuff for the sculpts.
Yeah, Sabine, you can have her helmet on or helmet off, holding her sword or holding a second blaster. It's super cool.
Yeah, Bosk also, he can either be holding his rifle in two hands or holding his rifle in one hand, and he has a grenade in the other hand or something. I forget what it is.
Yeah, I think he has little Dioxis grenades. I mean, that's what he tosses around in Battlefront, so it's probably the same deal.
Yeah, he will. He is going to have a Dioxis grenade. I think it looks like it's going to be one of his command cards, though. So, and that's what I assume all those yellow tokens he has are going to be for. There's some new yellow tokens that he has that we haven't seen before. I think there'll be some kind of poison token or something like that.
Yeah. So the thing that I hear. Pretty much every time I'm together with Legion players, I'm sure I'll hear people like to talk about how crazy powerful Jin is, which we're not talking about Jin today because by the time you hear this, she'll be out, so it's not really upcoming stuff. People are losing their minds at how Sabine is a million times better than Boba Fett.
She is good. I mean, she basically does everything Boba does, and then she does some stuff better,
Is that a problem? Are they the same Is she cheaper than Boba?
I think so. She's 125. I thought Boba was 140? I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm gonna go check the list builder at legion.jodocast.com.
Ooh. Sounds like a...
Yeah, Boba Fett's 140. I was right. So yeah, so she's 15 points cheaper than Boba.
But a lot better.
She's got the same amount of health. She does have one less defense. Or, I mean, one less courage. She's got both surges just like he does. They both have jump 2. She doesn't have arsenal, but she does have gunslinger.
And she doesn't have sharpshooter.
Yeah, she doesn't have sharpshooter. They both have impervious, but she gets nimble, which I think is almost going to be better because it's going to help her be a lot more survivable having the nimble. Plus, if she equips the dark saber, she then gets dauntless, which lets her still take a move action even if she's suppressed. And it makes her immune to pierce from melee attacks, so I think it's partially going to come down to, I mean, what all her command cards do. I'll also be curious to see what she comes with. Two other upgrades besides her dark saber that we can see but that can't really read the writing on is the Electro Whip and the personal shield. I'm assuming Electro Whip was going to let you immobilize a unit. Again, much like the Boba's Whipcord command card, at least one of her command cards is going to let you drop some kind of charge because she comes with charge tokens. All in all, I think she is a pretty impressive unit. And like I said, she comes in 15 points cheaper than Boba. But I think she's at least as good as Boba.
Well, where do you think Bosk fits in all this? One thing I've heard a lot of talk about is either how good it is or just general debate about the rules. And if you have Boba and Bosk and they both put their bounty tokens on one person, and what happens with that, and is that worth your while, and is that overpowered, and all this stuff?
I thought I saw something like that because they clarified some stuff with bounty in the newest rules reference that I thought made it not quite as good as people thought it was, but off the top of my head I can't remember what it is.
Well, they both look really cool. I would have rather seen I guess we needed more operatives, but I'd rather see like Hera before Sabine.
Yeah. Seeing Sabine does make me hopeful that we might be seeing like some like Clan Ren Mandalorians in the near future then also, though, which I think would be kind of cool to have.
That would be really cool. Special Forces unit for Rebels, Clan Ren people, and give Imperial Super Commandos to the Empire. That would be cool.
Then you'd have to be buying for both sides again.
I wouldn't. Why would I buy Imperial Super Commandos? Those guys are dicks.
You would not buy those? You're kidding.
No, I mean, I lived without buying the Boba Fett expansion, so at this point, I think I can live without any of the Empire ones.
Joe, I think the way the bounty is written is, I think if you put both victory tokens on the same
Target?
On the same guy, you'll still only get one victory point at the end of the game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Some people were thinking you just get both.
That's from the way the rules are written right now. It seems like so you would actually be wasting a bounty by doing that.
Right. If you put them on, because the bounty token doesn't care who placed it there. If Boba puts his on Han and Bosk puts his on Leia and Bosk kills Han, that still gets you that extra point.
Yeah.
So probably
exactly. But it's like you would still move both tokens from the bounty that you killed over to whichever one of the two bounty hunters killed that one unit. But then it says at the end of the game is if you control a unit that has bounty keyword and a victory token, then you gain a victory point. And then it says that a player gains 1 victory point for this way for each unit they control that meets those requirements. Well, at that point, you've only got 1 unit that meets those requirements, so you get 1 victory point, not 2 victory points. So,
case closed.
But yeah, Bosk, I think he seems okay. It's kind of going to depend on what his actual cost ends up being. It's kind of hard to see from the card in the preview article. It looks like 85 to me, but I think it's probably actually 115. He's like okay. Like I know there's a lot of people who are really excited about his regenerate ability, but I mean, really, you only have like, on average, it's if you have 3 wounds, on average, you're still only going to regenerate 1 of those wounds each turn, which isn't bad, but it's also not like spectacular.
Yeah, because he at the end of each round, he rolls 3 white defense dice on a block.
Well, he rolls the defense die for each wound he has up to 3. Okay. So if you've only got 1 wound, you don't roll 3 dice. You only roll 1 dice.
Yeah, and it's a 1 in 6 on each die, right? It's just the block result.
Well, it's a 1 in 3 because it's for you can get a surge or a block.
Any paint. That's better.
But yeah, no, I think they're both pretty cool. I think they're both definitely way cooler than the other Legion bit that got announced, which was the ATST down terrain piece.
I just cannot help but laugh at this.
I was like that's pretty neat. It's cool that they're releasing terrain, Star Wars terrain. That's really cool. And then I'm like, it costs exactly the same as the regular ATST expansion. It's not cool at all anymore.
Yeah. I guess the price doesn't bother me that much. I mean, I think the thing that bothers me the most is the battle cards they include with it. So
you doesn't bother me at all.
You get the piece of the piece of terrain that's basically just a busted up ATST crashed in some rocks. Yeah, I mean, I guess it saves you the time of modding your own ATST at that to look like that, and like you said, it costs you the same as what it would cost you to buy another ATST and cut it up yourself anyway. So it's a time saver in that sense. But then it comes with 6 battle cards, but the thing is they're just, it's a scenario. Okay, it's like basically like the operations that you already get as free PDFs from their websites.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really wanted them to actually be battle cards that you could include in your decks.
I think fine this because I feel like new battle cards.
Yeah, this just seems like
new battle cards. I think they're gonna keep for the like faction neutral expansions, like that priority supplies.
I mean, well, this is faction neutral.
I suppose you're right.
I mean, it's just a terrain piece. I guess there hasn't been any rules that say that they can't be used in standard play, but I mean, they all require the downed ATSD terrain piece to be on the board.
I remember reading one does require one player to be Empire, one player to be Rebel, so I think that in itself excludes it from...
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
so to even use the terrain piece, that has to be the case?
No,
I mean, you can just throw the terrain piece on your board anytime you want, but to use these battle cards, you have to have the terrain piece out.
I might have misheard you, because thanks, Discord, you suck like Skype now. I thought you meant in terms of setting up terrain for like an organized play event.
Yeah, no, we're just talking about if you're using the battle cards that come with the piece of terrain. But I was saying, I wish they would have made them more generic so you could use them in standard tournament play. So
yeah,
that's disappointing to me. At first, when I saw that was going to be a terrain piece, that was the thing I was most excited about. Not so much the terrain piece, but that I was like, oh my god, there is more battle cards. Hopefully.
Right. See, that's why I'm not let down by it, because I have no intention of buying that thing. So and I'm not missing out on something that could potentially be really important to have.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd be very interested to hear how many people actually buy this.
The thing is, though, there's probably a lot of people, though, who are playing this as, like me or like you, this is one of their first minis games they've ever really played. But maybe they're not getting into it quite as hardcore as some people. I've been messing around with making my own terrain and stuff. There's probably a lot of people out there who they don't necessarily want to mess with custom making their own terrain, and something like this is great for them.
I think it's a great thing.
I'm still not very excited about it.
I think it just costs too much.
If it was 40, just knock off $10 because it's not a fully posable unit. It's not a whole bunch of moving parts. Yeah. It's one chunk.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, when you look at it, though, it is more actual plastic there than you get with. There's more plastic there than you get with an actual ATSD model.
But it's not
at some point. They got to somewhat price it based on the amount of plastic they're giving you.
But they need to price it smart as well.
Yeah.
Should we be thankful that it's not more expensive?
Well, that would be really terrible if it was more expensive.
Yes, it would be.
Then really nobody would buy it. I think over $50. I think that would be a really hard sell to anybody at that point. But yeah, I think that's probably about all needs to be said about that. So it's a thing. Whatever.
Well, here's the next question for you about that. On that same topic, though, this is their first real terrain piece. We've seen the Evaporator and a few other things that you could say are more like I would classify them as potential objective markers rather than
they are. They are.
Well, I don't know. I haven't bought them yet.
Yeah, that's all.
I don't know what their purpose is. Okay, so they're objective markers. So this one is the first actual
use
terrain.
Them as terrain if you wanted. But
I don't see why you wouldn't. But that was my first thought.
But their stated purpose is to be out as objective markers.
Okay. In any event, if this is setting the standard for the types of terrain that FFG has in mind to try to release going forward, I hope that, personally, I hope that they change it up and not do little centerpieces like this, because I feel like that's kind of what this is a centerpiece. What other ones, either along these lines or completely different, would you two want to see?
Not Tatooine houses.
Crashed starfighters. Give me a crashed X-Wing, a crashed Y-Wing, a crashed TIE Fighter, crashed TIE Bomber. Because the other thing, like this ATSD, not everybody has the drive or skill to turn their own ATST into this. But that option exists because you can just go buy an ATST for the same price. There's never going to be a 2-scale X-Wing in this game because it's too big. It would move too fast. That's not going to happen. You can cut out this clip and play it back to me when that happens in like 3 years. But, and it's hard to, a lot of people are trying to make their own crashed X-Wing terrain, things like that. There's 3D printing options. There's these Revel kits and all this stuff. And none of it's that ideal, to me at least. If they just released crashed X-Wing terrain piece with, here's some scenario cards to go with it, that would be really cool. Way cooler than the ATST.
I agree. That would be... even though it would you could have it be basically exactly the same as what it is right now, just a crashed A-wing or whatever, and boom, you've suddenly increased its value by a fair amount.
Because that's like
I would put
at a lot of the custom terrain websites out there. A lot of people are trying to make these crashed X-wings, so why not? People want these a lot more than they want crashed ATSTs. Do it, Fantasy Flight.
Speaking then of X-Wings and A-Wings and Y-Wings.
Oh my,
yes. Right around the same time, they did also announce Wave 4 for X-Wing 2nd Edition. A whole pile of ships for everybody except for Scum. Scum gets nothing, so
nothing.
It sucks to be Scum.
Absolutely nothing. So stupid.
Let's see. There's the Naboo N1 Starfighter. I guess looks like a neat ship. I'm not very excited about that one. Probably because I don't necessarily plan on playing Republic ever. Although I do like the Jedi Starfighter that they showed with the starter sets or with the Republic core set or whatever they're calling it.
It's not a core
set. The Jedi Starfighter looks really cool.
Annoying. That's what's annoying about it. You can't just go hop in a Republic. You're still gonna have to buy the core set, and then you're gonna be stuck with two TIE fighters and an X-Wing that you don't need.
All right, yeah. So what did they call it again? Anyways, like a starter set or just like
I don't know. It's just called Guardians of the Republic.
Squadron pack or something. Yeah, weren't they calling it like a squadron pack or something like that?
Know.
I don't know. But anyways, like I said, the Jedi Starfighter looks cool. The other ship in there didn't look as cool. So
what is that called?
So far, not super interested in playing the Republic. Let's see, what else did they announce with Wave 1 or Wave 4? They announced a Hyena class droid bomber for the Separatists.
Are you planning on flying the Separatists at all?
Maybe. I mean, like some of the stuff, like the vulture droids and stuff. Some of like the whole like being able to land on asteroid mechanics and stuff seem interesting. Like I would like to just mess around with them to play a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm still not playing X-Wing real seriously these days. So far I've just been happy just sticking with my Imperial ships, just flying those.
Yeah, same. I kind of want to get into Republic, but I haven't been playing enough to be like, I think I'll just stick with the Rebels for now.
Let's see, there was the Resistance Transport, which is a really goofy choice.
Yeah, it is.
It's not only is it one of like the ugliest ships ever, it just is. Just seems dumb to be flying around this transport. I mean, I know it's like it says that it's technically a troop carrier and gunship, but it just it looks not like that.
thing, it's so ugly. When that thing showed up
the other interesting thing is that the cockpit pops off, and or at least they didn't show it, but they mentioned that the vessel's cockpit pod can be flown independently. So I don't know if that actually means you can pop it off the Mini.
I think so.
Or not.
I think that's what was implied with that.
But that would be kind of a cool bit of customization, or cool little special thing for it, where you can pop the head off your ship. Let's see. There's a new Millennium Falcon. But not much.
It's just the Rebel one,
to
right?
go there. Yeah, it's basically just the Rebel one.
So it has a new sculpt, and that's about all there is to be interested in.
I don't even think it has a new sculpt. I think they just
new paint job.
A little bit new paint job is all.
Now here's a question for you on these larger ones: have they improved the pegs at all?
I don't know. The only large.
I guess I haven't bought any.
Yeah,
I haven't bought any of the new large ships. The medium ones I've used have been fine. I guess I never had any problems with the large ship pegs though in the first place. So
I have.
Oh, I absolutely hated them.
I've only just been using my old pegs though, so I couldn't tell you if that's something that they improved on.
Okay. Carry on.
All right. There's a B-Wing, which seems
the one from
really cool because this one does actually have a new sculpt for the Rebel B-Wing. It's got the wings fold in, the S-foils fold in, the cockpit spins, or the cockpit rotates, and it can also spin on its peg, so you can have it at different angles on the peg. So basically, it's everything you could want out of your B-Wing Mini, and I'm gonna have to buy one at least.
That's the one I'm most excited about, because that's the one Rebel one I need. I don't need the Falcon. I guess I don't need that one, but the new sculpt is so cool, I can't not buy that one.
Yeah, it's really. I really like the paint job on it too. Is really cool looking.
And the decimator.
Yeah, there's the decimator. There's absolutely nothing new or interesting going on here. It's you get about the only. If you've bought the conversion kit, there's not really a huge reason to buy this expansion other than the fact that I guess you get the 2 quick build cards. Otherwise, whatever. There's a TIE silencer, which says that's a whole new sculpt for the TIE silencer also.
Which seems kind of odd since that was towards the end of version 1 anyways, and I would have thought that their model quality would have been pretty close to peak at that point.
Maybe they were just kind of phoning it in at the end.
That could be too.
I'm not sure what exactly changed on that one. I don't even know if I own the TIE silencer now that I think about it. The original one. I don't think I do. Let's see. Let's see. There's the TIE, the Special Forces, TIE First Order TIE Fighter. Was also was the last ship they announced, and I think it's got one upgrade. Oddly enough, they decided to include one upgrade that wasn't in the conversion kit, which I think
controversy.
I don't actually have a First Order conversion kit because I don't really have any interest in flying that faction at the moment, so I can't say for 100% sure. But the way the article, the preview article, is written and sort of implied that the Afterburner upgrade was not in the conversion kit. So if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will let me know. Kurt actually owns a First Order conversion kit, so he can let me know how wrong I am after he listens to this. Let's see. The last bit they announced was deluxe movement tools and range rulers,
which is something that I'm surprised it took them this long to get to.
Yeah, I kind of am too, but I don't know. They seem pretty cool. I will probably pick up a set. To be honest, I don't know how much I will use the deluxe movement tools, just because they're really thick. It looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Like
tall. If you set it on the table, it's like stands up 6 inches.
As tall as the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 inches.
I mean, it looks like it might even be taller than the base of your ship.
Yeah. And same thing with like it also comes with a corner, like the little corner piece to mark your placement. But those
I like that.
Well, I don't like that it's thick. I like just the thinner cardboard one you get in the
because a lot of times
like in the core
you'll need to set another ship on top of that too. And the lower it is,
or put a movement tool over it, or something like that. And so having a big, huge, thick one seems like a detriment to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Having a big, huge, thick one is not a good thing.
Not for us X-Wing
despite
players.
What everyone thinks. Yeah. So, do you think, without getting too deep into this, because you've just described it. There's not a whole lot of theory crafting to do with it, but do you think this is gonna join the same ranks as the Destiny binder and the RPG mat?
No.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as those, but
I think people will use them, and then other people will feel more smug about not using them when they see other people using them.
Yeah. I mean, I think like a good majority of the people who would want these probably already have some form of acrylic movement templates and range rulers.
I do think these will be very handy for people who want to paint them to like.
Yes, they'll definitely be very customizable and paintable. I might buy a pack though just for the range ruler, because my acrylic range ruler that I have is all one piece, all just the full range 3. But the one that comes in the kit here is you can pull it apart, so you can do it in increments of 1, 2, or 3, and having those separate sections so you can do all the different ranges is really useful.
The pull apart thing, kind of like the Legion ruler, is pretty neat. I already have a 1, 2, and 3 ruler, so I probably won't get that. But
yeah, it's going to depend on what the price is. I'm sure I could actually look on like their pre-order website or whatever. You know what? It's right along the side here. No.
Hold on.
Prices for
Evan and I.
There it is. $20.
We were gonna Prices Right guess it.
What? Oh, sorry.
I'll pick a different product for Evan and I to guess.
Okay. Okay. Now, get as close as you can without going over. You gotta guess what the price is for the Resistance Transport expansion.
I'll say
$1.
I was just gonna $24.99.
How much did you? $24.99. Okay, how about you, Evan?
$34.99.
Oh, sorry, you went over, which means Joe is the winner. The actual retail price is $29.95.
$30 for that thing? Isn't it just a small ship?
Yeah, it's that's what it looks like. Is that it's just a small ship. That is definitely a small base that it's on. So that is a ridiculous price for that tiny ass.
The first time that showed up in The Force Awakens, I was like, that thing is stupid and ugly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is pretty much my thoughts too.
Wow.
It does look better as just the pod, because that's what Finn and Rose are flying in The Last Jedi.
Really, Leia should have walked off the ship, and then Han should have been like, "You came here in that thing."
Or if he would have went, "What a piece of junk." Yeah.
Either one.
And then everyone's like, "Yeah,
you should
fuck
have
this ship." They kick it while they walk out. They go back to base, and there's the guy from like the Incom Corporation with his blueprints, and they're just like, "You know what? F you, Dale." It's like, "Aw."
Oh, Dale.
Well, I thought maybe if we took a B-Wing, but like got rid of all the moving parts and put it sideways and put like a garage in it, like when I'm away from home, I really miss my garage. It's where I keep my weights and my old comic books, and I wanted that in a ship.
The same guy designed that designed the Resistance bomber too.
Yeah, that ship's not good looking either.
No, I don't know. I don't mind.
I feel I don't think it's great, but I do at least feel like the B-17 Flying Fortress vibe from it, which makes it a little bit better.
Agreed.
Yeah, like the Resistance transport, they get more of like a flying bread box vibe from it. Something
that should be in your front lawn on cinder blocks is what it looks like to me.
It really does look like it's like just like part of a ship.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like a transformer combiner, but he tried to turn into vehicle mode, but like the other 4 combiners didn't show up, so he's just sort of like the
It's kind of like the 2 arms of Voltron, but it lost the legs and the head.
Oh, I think we've...
Is that all the new stuff coming out? I feel like we've talked about this land speeder and the occupier tank in a previous episode.
Yeah, those were announced a while ago. I think Destiny Convergence is the new set for that's coming out real soon. There's been a lot of stuff spoiled over the last few days. But those... They've basically spoiled... Most of the set is spoiled. Sounds like that's going to be coming out within the next week or 2 here. Stuff looks cool in it. Lots of droids, downgrades. But
so I haven't been playing Destiny, really. I just like seeing all the new cards and looking at the artwork.
Yeah, I haven't really been playing a ton lately either. Like I bought 2 boxes of the last set here, and have never actually ended up actually playing a single game of Constructed. I've just done a couple drafts and that's it. So I don't know if I'm going to be buying any of Convergence, to be honest. I might just buy the draft pack
and then just do some draft. That was my intention when I started slowing down on Destiny. I'm like, I want to get the draft kit, and then I'm just going to go to some drafts here and there, because that'll be a much easier way to keep up with the game. But that didn't even happen.
Yeah, I mean, drafting is fun. I enjoy doing the drafting, even though I always do terrible at it. But it's fun. Yeah, I don't know. If I wasn't doing Legion, I would probably still be playing Destiny like on a weekly basis though, but sorry. Destiny Legion just takes up too much time. Oh.
We gotta wonder if we could set up a game of Destiny, a game of Legion, a game of everything that we play against each other simultaneously. So we sit down at Destiny, we do a turn, then we slide down to the next table, do a turn, so on.
Oh, God. We'd have it make it like an escalating sort of thing. So we have like every Star Wars FFG game. So we start with at one end. We start with Empire and Rebellion.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a new idea.
And then we make a...
Finish your idea.
Okay, new idea.
My idea is great, though. You have teams. One player per game, and then everybody takes one turn, and then everybody shifts down the line, like speed dating, to the... So you have to pick up where your teammate left off. And then you get through all the games like that every turn. So you sit down at the Legion table and you're like, well, shit, my teammate got Luke killed. Now I got to pick up where he left off. Or he drew a really crappy hand.
That sounds really complicated.
As long as you're good at marking your game state, so nobody gets confused when they sit down at the table, this would be very time consuming. Well, not that time. It would maybe take like twice the length of a Legion game, just so you have time for everybody to shuffle.
Well, I think that's probably going to do it for us for this episode. We've lost Evan. His internet. Oh my God.
Heyo.
I was just telling everybody how we lost
were just
you.
Mourning
did.
you. We mourned you.
just
Who did we
telling them
bury?
that we lost you. Yeah, we had.
Okay,
we had. Me and Joe would both hummed taps, and he'd said a very moving eulogy. But now you're back.
So I'm gonna delete that
from outer space.
Well, I can still barely hear a word you're saying, so carry on, and I'll just listen.
Well, we were just wrapping up, was all.
All right, do it.
All right. Okay. Yeah, like I was saying, that's probably it. And we didn't actually lose Evan, so he's here.
Evan was
just
the
listening.
friends we made along the way.
I was inside you the whole time.
Good night, folks. We're sorry for this episode. We've all had really bad internet tonight. And really bad jokes and stuff tonight. Really bad intro, really bad outro.
Okay. I thought this episode was it was quaint. This is all scripted. This is all scripted. People like that nowadays. You ever watch a YouTube channel with a lot of popular? They'll cut in the goofs. People like that. They like seeing behind the scenes. They like feeling like they're part of it, even though they're completely separated from it. Unless you're a patron, then you are part of it. But seriously, you watch so many like dumb channels have like they're talking with the crew, behind the camera and laughing, and they're subtitling the people because they're not mic'd up, even though they're part of the show. It's weird. It's becoming a whole thing. Okay, bye.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
Bye.